Hello everybody and welcome to the first round, or the first two rounds, of the 2004 Ligier Championship. We're here at Oran Park for a free practice session. I didn't make any graphics because I couldn't get it sorted in time, but I digress. We'll have a look at the teams and drivers who will be competing in this season. Welcome in everybody, by the way. Welcome in Sene, parked on the Apex. As well as Pineapple Boy, also known as Nils. Welcome in everybody. So for this season we have got Gunnar Hansen and Daniel Ferguson in the Harrison Motorsports car. Then we've got Casey Kirk and Guido van der Garde in the MyLink. We've got... I actually can't remember all the lineups. Would have been better to probably learn all these lineups beforehand, but anyway, as it currently stands, Jakob is a bit delayed, so we won't see him for maybe at least this first race, at the very least. So yeah, if you don't know what Ligier is, it's a 10-team, 2 cars, so 20 cars in total, championship, where we just go to any tracks that basically suit this car. It's with the Ligier JS8 S1, the mod made by, I believe it's Gary Peterson, on overtake.gg. It's a very cool mod, very fun car to drive. Fresh Ligier, god damn. God damn. Anyway, so yeah, I need to actually see if I've sorted all these scenes out correctly, because I didn't actually give the Assetto Corsa part a bit too much attention, basically. Oh dear. For some reason, by the way, just can't get the I just can't get things to work. If you want to join the Discord and find out more about what Ligier actually is, make sure to join the Discord. And basically, there's a bunch of people there who already are... Your girlfriend, so what is that? It's only the greatest car ever, James. Welcome in. It's the greatest car ever. Top speeds of 60 miles an hour. Absolute weapon in a straight line. Let me check I've actually got all the audio correct. I did not have all the audio correct. Good to know. Right. Anyway, shall we get on to qualifying? I think we shall. Skip session. So it's a 6 minutes qualifying session for all these tracks, in which we'll be doing the first 2 today. 6 minute qualifying session, and then it's followed by a 25-kilometer race. First one out on track, it's one of the Team MasterCard teams. It's Tina Curtis. So Tina Curtis is out on circuits. If you weren't aware, a couple of the names in here you might recognise, such as Tina Curtis. Killed the audio. Oh, what the hell? Why did it... Hang on 1 second. No, that's... Is it really? Hang on, that's very strange. 1 second. Let me just pause that for a second. Why has that stopped working? I'm so confused. So I took it off track 1 on the stream track and it just stopped. Settings? Sorry for the randomness of this. The stream audio track is on audio 1. Reset it. Yeah, let me just change to that real quick. What's the audio over here? Oh, I know what I've done. That's supposed to be on not 3. Right, my bad. That should be better now. Okay, I think we should be back. Yeah, if you weren't aware, by the way, this is not F1 Challenge, but it is tied in with the F1 Challenge career mode, because this is where a lot of the youth drivers basically start their Formula 1 or their motorsport career up the motorsport ladder. This is the lowest place in which you'll normally go to in this career mode. Yeah, we've got audio. Nice. So yeah, we've got Tina Curtis out on track. Welcome in, by the way, Flavio Briatore. Absolutely amazing. Great name, by the way. A couple drivers still in the pits for now, such as Nathan Hazelwood, Carlos Barton and Chen Kongfu. I say that, they're all going out on circuit. Tina Curtis there setting a 2:12.5. We shouldn't really be looking at these times, because they're outlaps and they're not going to be representative. I assure you that all the drivers should be able to set a lap time in the time, hence why it's a 6-minute qualifying session and not 5 minutes. Otherwise, on quite a few occasions we'd see drivers not setting lap times. But watch Tina Curtis on this first and probably only lap. Oh yeah, Jane Doe, hello. Flavio Briatore and Jane Doe. If you don't know what this circuit is, by the way, this is the Oran Park Raceway. It's a track that no longer exists in real life. I believe in 2008 they demolished it, unfortunately for some housing estate, I think. Hello Satent, welcome in. I hope everyone has had a good day so far, by the way. So we're watching Tina Curtis just absolutely rattle the bones off this car. Absolutely 100% pace. Don't look at that missed apex. This is one big street now, which is quite a shame, because it is very much a circuit that is unique in its design. Obviously, it overlaps itself, a figure-of-8 circuit by technicality, as we see Tina Curtis rounding the final corner to put a first representative lap time on the board in this qualifying session and in this season. Up towards the line for Tina Curtis, it'll be a 2-minute 3.2 we're looking out for other drivers. We've got Peter Elkman currently on a lap. He goes 0.3 slower. What about Franz Bernbach? He's got his teammate Moreno Soprapto in tow, and as such, Moreno Soprapto to pole position, the Boutsen test driver in Formula 1. But Daniel Ferguson, not on a brilliant lap, but Jake Wilson has picked up a good amount of slipstream there to move himself up to third. Side by side there between Paul de Resta and Jakub Esta. The two, I guess they're Estas, yep. Resta and Esta, amazing. Esta goes second fastest there in the Maxi Toys racing machine. Further back, we've got Harry Bunara getting a nice slipstream there off Moritz, Lucas Moritz, that is. And neither of them setting a decent lap time. Eusus Naturai goes up to 7th place. What Guido van der Gaard? He goes to pole position by 0.3 of a second. His teammate Casey Kirk, a decent lap from him, sends him up to 5th place. no more, as Gunnar Hansen actually goes to pole position. Jordi Gambing up next in the Campos Racing car as he goes to 8th place. Conor Rusikas next on the list to cross the line following their qualifying lap. Guido Gangagard. Gigo Gangagard. Yes. Conor Rusikas in 17th. What about these three? These three are only allowed to do this lap, and it's only going to be enough for Chen Kongfu to move up to 6th, Carlos Barton to 7th, and Nathan Hazelwood all the way down in 16th place. A very disappointing lap there. But Gunnar Hansen currently on pole position. Tina Curtis decides to pit, doesn't see any improvement in the lap time, and as such starts no better than 11th place. What about Franz Bernbach? He's staying out there. He believes there is time to find, and across the line for Franz Bernbach, he moves up to 3rd place. A decent lap there sees him move ahead of his Streamline Engineering teammates on the 2nd row. Jago Pesta is another driver who is looking for a handy improvement to try and push himself onto the front row. Half a second he needs to find, although he is boxing at the end of this lap. Guido van der Gaard is another driver who could possibly be looking for pole position. Paul de Resta, though, moves up to 2nd place, displacing the Dutchman of his front row start provisionally. Let's see if van der Gaard actually completes this lap, or is he going into the pits? He is aborting. He is going into the pits. So no improvement for van der Gaard at the moment. No one can even get close to Gunnar Hansen. As there's Svetoslav Kostov with a brilliant lap time into the pit lane, no less. Very strange, but he's managed to do it. A sub 2-minute lap into the pit lane as Casey Kirk fails to improve. Jordi Gambin, I think, is also going to fail to improve, which means, I think, as it currently stands, it's going to be Svetoslav Kostov on pole position in the Flashpoint Grand Prix car. Very surprising to see such an interesting development here. Maybe they thought it was going to run out of fuel, so it was like, say less, I'll box and I'll also set the fastest lap, so we won't run out of fuel halfway through the next lap. And Conor Rusikas is into the pits, so this is going to be the end of the qualifying session unless he can beat their time. No, it's 20th place only for Josep Conor Rusikas, which means it's Svetoslav Kostov on pole position by 0.6 of a second, 1.7 seconds ahead of 3rd place Guido van der Gaard. Then it comes Paul de Resta, the 2 streamlines of Franz Bernbach and Moreno Soprapto. Jago Pesta, Chen Kongfu, Carlos Barton and Casey Kirk complete the top 10, with Jake Wilson, Jordi Gambin, Tina Curtis, Peter Elkman, Justus Nachirai, Daniel Ferguson, Nathan Hazelwood, Lucas Moritz, Harry Bonara and Josep Conor Rusikas completing the order 4.5 seconds off the field. I should be able to do that. Just grab the qualifying order, and without further ado, let's get straight into the race. For the lights are beginning to come on now to begin the 2004 LeaguiER Championship. Need to put myself back into the pits. The lights are green and there's racing to be seen. It's a decent-ish start from Svetoslav Kostov, although better from Gunnar Hansen on the front row. Side by side they will be towards the first corner down the main straight. We'll see who has the grunt down the straight line. It's about a 1/10 between the two of them. There's Paul de Resta planning to make it 3 wide. 1 Harrison car and 2 Flashpoint cars looking towards turn 1 side by side. It's 3 wide as they head towards turn 1. Paul de Resta on the right, Kostov on the left, and Hansen in the middle. And Hansen's been bullied out the way there, so much so that both Flashpoints lead here in Oran Park. It's a fantastic start for Flashpoint Grand Prix, with Hansen now under pressure from Franz Bernbach in 4th place, trying to look towards the outside as the German, but he can't find a way through there. Poor line is going to cost him dear. Guido van der Gaard getting past Moreno Soprapto. I think he fell past behind him at the start, but it's been a brilliant start for both the Flashpoint cars, who are trying to go side by side once again as they head over the bridge for the first time in this race. Nathan Hazelwood demoted down to last place via Conor Rusica, side by side with Paul de Resta is Svetislav Kostov. Onto the grass was the Briton there, and they're trying to still go side by side, dragging Frans Bernbach and Gunnar Hansen into this fight for P1. But as of right now, 10 laps, the first lap of 10, it's currently looking like a four-way fight for victory, with Guido van der Garde already falling out of slipstream range a little bit, 2 by 2 as they head through the final chicane to complete the first lap. Paul de Resta now pulling away, and there goes Frans Bernbach round the outside of the Bulgarian of Svetislav Kostov. Can he make the move towards the outside? It's going to be a bit of a struggle getting such momentum out of the final corner, and I think Svetislav Kostov is going to keep it, but for how much longer? Frans Bernbach has got a better run on the Bulgarian, and he might also pick a little bit of slipstream there from Paul de Resta ahead. Gunnar Hansen also with a brilliant straight line speed, also gaining on the top three in front of him. But as it currently stands, Paul de Resta leads by 7/10 of a second. Bernbach really putting Svetislav Kostov through his paces as they head through turn 1 once again, side by side. Can they make it through? Can't quite make it through. Frans Bernbach trying to still find his way through. He's been battling with Svetislav Kostov for the best part of half a lap at this point, but eventually, by the time they reach the brakes for turn 3, it's Bernbach that comes out up into second place. Chen Kongfu there being overtaken, or rather battling with Carlos Barton in the Scuderia Azzurro car, looking towards the outside again of turn 4. This is a lot of outside corners for Chen Kongfu to try and make a move on. Carlos Barton, he's got a lot more distance to cover in his car versus the Britons, but will he be able to make it work? Pushing Carlos Barton onto the grass there, and a better run through the corner, and I think Chen Kongfu should just about have it. Looking towards the inside though, as Svetislav Kostov is off. Kostov is off. He's made a mistake there, and he's going to cost himself a large amount of time. That's devastating for the Flashpoint Grand Prix team, who are looking down the barrel of at least a double podium, maybe even a 1-2 in this race. But that spin from Svetislav Kostov is going to make him fall all the way down to 7th place. He's got 2.5 seconds of the car in front, so he's going to struggle to pick up slipstream and work with anyone ahead of him. Frans Bernbach now looking to try and capture the lead as they complete lap 2. But it's getting a little bit of side slipstream is Paul de Resta. Here comes Van der Garde. Gandergaard, I can't say his name anymore. Here comes Gunnar Hansen as well. Probably to try and make it 4 wide in towards turn 1. Surely not. I think the two in front are getting a little bit of slipstream off each other as there nearly is contact. There is contact! Frans Bernbach, he spun around. He's somehow managed to keep it pointing in the correct direction. But he's fallen down to 4th place. He's going to be a little heart-in-mouth moment there. But he's able to keep it pointing in a straight line. Frans Bernbach there losing a lot of time in that incident, as Jordi Gambin there getting past Jake Wilson for 11th place. Van der Garde now looking to try and get the lead of this race. Side by side he is now with Paul de Resta. These two are expected to be up there in terms of position, and in terms of the Drivers' Championship, these two are expected to be rivals in that as well, as Harry Benora looking towards the inside of Peter Elkman. Can he get the drag up the hill, through the bridge, towards the inside of the fast right-hander? I think he might just be able to pull that one off, although Elkman's looking towards the outside as they head through the S section, side by side still. You'll realise with this series there's a lot of side-by-side action. It's almost like NASCAR in a way. But as they get through into the latter stages of this 3rd lap, Peter Elkman comes out on top. Guido van der Garde trying to pull out a gap so no one can pick up his slipstream down this main straight. Gunnar Hansen is pouncing on Paul de Resta now, as Van der Garde has pulled a 1.6 second gap, but he's into the box already. into the box already, as is Burnback. Several other cars also into the pits. This was not expected. It was expected to be a one-stop strategy from all those involved. But Guido van der Gaard, Burnback and Esther are all into the pits, as well as Wilson, Benara and Natcherai. They're all into the box, which leads Paul de Resta to once again lead this race. But for how much longer? The man from the Faroe Islands, Gunnar Hansen, is looking towards the inside here of Paul de Resta to take the lead of the race. Can he get through? He's going to look towards the outside once again. A lot of drivers have tried this outside move but have failed in the past, and I think it's going to continue. It is going to continue. Paul de Resta keeps the lead for now. Meanwhile, Svetoslav Kostov trying to keep up with Moreno Soprapto following that spin. He's kind of almost got into his slipstream range by this point, as we now see Franz Burnback exiting the pit lane. Van der Gaard, the highest ranked of those that have pit, in 15th, but maybe he's on a two-stop strategy, and if that's the case, then he needs to get his foot down and use these tyres while he still can. Paul de Resta under pressure once again from the Harrison Motorsport car of Gunnar Hansen. Is he going to be able to make his way through? I don't think he is. That's wide though from Paul de Resta, and as such he might fall under pressure once again from Gunnar Hansen. It's not stopping. It's absolutely relentless, the battle between these two for the lead of this race. Lap 4 only, and we are in a monumental fight for the race lead here. Moreno Soprapto closing in on those two at the front. The streamlined second driver really starting to close up the gap, as Gunnar Hansen has decided to box on the end of lap 4. So maybe an early one stop, or could it be a possible two stop from the Harrison Motorsport driver? Only time will tell. But as such, Moreno Soprapto up to second, now in the slipstream, 4 tenths. Soon to be 3 tenths in the slipstream. Gaining all the time as they head towards turn 1. Not really gaining enough to have a little look towards the inside in towards turn 2. And as such, Paul de Resta still leads this race. Peter Elkman and Conor Russicus also into the box for the first time in this season. Moreno Soprapto trying to close up that gap to Paul de Resta, but he's I don't think he's got quite the pace that Paul de Resta does. He's kind of just being dragged along by the slipstream effect that these cars create. Is quite strong in these cars, and as such it allows for some very interesting pack racing. Svetoslav Kostov doing well following his half spin, and as such the chance of a double podium for Flashpoint is once again well and truly on in this race. Side by side now for Moreno Soprapto, who squeaks himself up the inside as they head through the first of the 2 chicanes on this circuit. De Resta leaves him an acre of space there on the inside, but as they head through towards the left-hander, is able to keep that place for now. Svetoslav Kostov there looking to try and get past Moreno Soprapto. But as they're all entering the pits on the end of lap 5, as we can now bring in Jakob Esta. Hello, Jakob.
Hello.
Oh, you'll have to let me know in the chat, by the way, if Jakob is loud enough. You join us halfway through this race as Paul de Resta has pit from the lead, and as such, Chen Kong Fu now takes the lead. He's going for the overcut along with Casey Kirk to try and find his way up, maybe onto the podium. Tina Curtis also stays out, so a Azuro, a MyLink, a MasterCard, and a Harrison Motorsport car all staying out. Guido van der Gaard is going to move up to 5th place now following his pit stop. But here comes Gunnar Hansen around the outside. He's been battling with him at the start of the race, and despite them pitting on continuous laps towards each other, He's able to still continue this battle side by side still as they head through turn 2.
I tell you what, Jaden, these two are racing for their seats. Now, here we have Gambin. Oh, back to Van der Harde now. It's got it a bit flat. Almost all the volume from your screen, by the way. That's wonderful to commentate on. Anyway, Nathan Hazelwood around the outside. Well, it is quite a sweeping maneuver, but it's not going to work.
Right, you should be turned up now, I think. Which should be good. Yeah, despite the slower pace of the other drivers, it's certainly battling wherever you look, as Casey Kirk actually going for the lead here on Chen Kong Fu, side by side as they head through the chicane. And hopefully towards the outside, they're looking like there's almost contact there between the Briton and the Chinese man, and there most certainly is as they head towards the
they're
pit lane.
resting on each other.
And
will they dive into the pits?
What will happen as they enter the pit lane? There's contact, major contact there! Huge crash there for Casey Kirk and Chen Kong Fu, and I think Chen Kong Fu is going to be out of this race.
Yeah, he's properly stuck, isn't he? We might have just witnessed a live televised death.
Anyway, Casey Kirk into the pits. And Gunnar Hansen now and Guido van der Garde may take over the race lead, as Casey Kirk, I don't think he's going to be close towards the race lead after rejoining the pits. He's not going to be, and as such, Gunnar Hansen now is going to lead once again.
What a battle we're seeing here between Hansen and Guido van der Garde.
They have been relentlessly side by side now for over a lap at this point. But I wonder if Chen Kong Fu's going to be okay following that crash. Quite a hefty one into the barriers. Straight
telling you,
to the
Jaden,
concrete.
those two just like looking at each other, because they're going to draw side by side again in a moment.
I think you're right there, Yago. As they head towards turn 4. Side by side, still between the Harrison Motorsport car and the MyLink Motorsport car. I think that Van der Garde's going to get the run.
That's a WRC line there by Van der Garde.
It most certainly is, all over the grass, but his commitment personified there as he's looking towards the inside and should have that place sewn up, unless Gunnar Hansen can get a good run, and he has got a good run towards the inside now of the left-hander, and he makes that stick to keep in the lead for now. But Guido van der Garde now with a fantastic exit out of the corner as they head now to the second chicane. Lap 7, 3 laps to go at the end of this one, and it's anyone's guess who is going to win this race. Could it be Hansen? Will it be van der Garde? Will it be Bernbach? Or could it be someone like Jago Pesta?
I've got no clue as to who that guy is, but he seems fast, capable, and incredibly handsome. As we see Bernbach just sneaking in there. Oh, they're diving into the pits just as it was about to get exciting. No hokey pokey this time, as both cars make it round to the pits.
And Jago Pesta's also into the pits, so
news.
A two-stop strategy it is for what approximates to be about half the field, which is going to pretty much take them out of contention for any form of race win or a good amount of points in this race. Kostov now up into 3rd place following that half spin, and as such, Flashpoint Grand Prix once again have a double podium.
I tell you what, this isn't Ligier JS8, this is Ligier JS Great, because we're seeing some amazing racing out here today.
We most certainly are, as Svetoslav Kostov aims to get back into the slipstream once again of his teammate Paul di Resta. Maybe the two Flashpoints can work together to try and close in that 2.7 second gap that Gunnar Hansen has now created for himself. It's going to be make or break in these last few laps for these two if they want any chance of taking victory here today. Peter Alkman trying to get towards the inside of Nathan Hazelwood, but a better exit there for the Briton is going to leave him possibly hung out to dry once again as they head through turn 5, but there's almost contact as Hazelwood is almost forcing.
It's a poor exit from the German.
It most certainly is. And towards the second half of this lap now, there's almost contact between the two of them, as well as there being almost contact there between Casey Cook and Daniel Ferguson just ahead. Towards the outside is Nathan Hazelwood. He's stayed on that left-hand side of the track the whole time, picked up the grip through the second half of the chicane, and gains the place of Peter Elkman. The gap now just 2 seconds between Gunnar Hansen and Paul di Resta for race victory. This could be absolutely anyone's game to see who can win this race. Kostov firmly in the slipstream now of his teammate, so not only is di Resta pulling himself along towards the race lead, but he's also bringing his teammate into the fight as well. This could be either brilliant from Flashpoint, or this could end in disaster.
Just like World War I, as Bulgarians are looking to mount an attack. Anyway, here we go. 2 laps to go to decide this one. The season opener to set yourself off on the right tone with Paul di Resta leading the race. Not leading race, sorry. We have a Swede named Gunnar Hansen in the lead. My mistake. I am looking at the wrong screen. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, we shouldn't discount Maurits, who's still in the game. They're coming a big train of cars. And I tell you what, this is racing.
This most certainly is racing. Any one of these top 8 could realistically take victory here today if there's an incident or any form of contact between anyone ahead of them.
And as you're looking at those cars coming through the corner, they're as stable as the British economy, so there sure as hell could be an incident upcoming in the next few laps.
That is most certainly correct, Jakob, as we head halfway through lap 9 now, and the gap between the two was 3 seconds. It's now just 5/10. Di Resta has pulled in that gap. He's worked hard to try and close the gap to Gunnar Hansen, and he's done exactly that. However, he's on the brakes a little bit there. Maybe a little bit of confusion with where Gunnar Hansen was going as he went a little bit wide through the chicane. But as they head towards the second chicane, Paul di Resta is starting to pull away from his teammate Kostov and starting to pile the pressure on Hansen as we nearly head into the final lap of this race. Oh, and that's a mistake there from di Resta. Right as I said he was closing in on the lead of this race, he's gone wide out of the chicane, and as such he might put him under pressure here from his teammate Svetislav Kostov. This could be exactly what the Faroe Islands driver of Gunnar Hansen needed to try and take victory on his debut. Meanwhile, Lucas Moritz slowly closing in on the two in front of him. Paul di Resta really giving his teammate Svetislav Kostov no space at all on the left side of that circuit. He pulls towards the right to get a good run through the corner and leaves his teammate hanging out to dry, or so he thought. Svetislav Kostov retaliates towards the inside of turn 2. Can he make the place upon his teammate? Almost certainly victory is out of the question for either driver, so now it's a melee for P2 in this race. Towards the inside now.
This looks more like a formation fight in the Royal Air Force than a race including very, very fast cars, which the Ligier JS8 are known to be. However, Maurits is looking for a piece of the action. He doesn't settle for 4th, but neither does Paul di Resta, neither does Svetislav Kostov, and certainly not the race leader Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar Hansen actually losing quite a bit of time in that first sector, so much so that he might fall under pressure here from Paul di Resta. Onto the grass for the Briton, so close for the race lead, side by side on this final lap of this race. Towards the outside is Gunnar Hansen. He's losing a lot of time, maybe a problem with the car, who knows, but he needs to fend off Paul di Resta if he wants any chance of winning this race. They're still side by side as they head through the left-hander. Who's going to get the better exit? Will it be Hansen? Will it be di Resta? It is di Resta to lead here with just 2 corners to go. Can he hold on to it, or will Hansen have a run back at him, or will Kostov have a run back at the both of them? Round the outside goes Kostov at the chicane. He's going to look towards the inside of di Resta at the final corner. Can he make his way through? I don't think he's going to be able to get the run, but di Resta out of the final corner for the final time. And I think it's going to be enough for Paul di Resta to take his victory here for the opening round of the LeaguiER Championship. It's a 1-2 for Flashpoint Grand Prix. A fantastic race for the Flashpoint team, with Gunnar Hansen completing the top 3, Lucas Moritz in 4th, Gambin in 5th, Soprapto 6th, Barton 7th, Curtis 8th, Ferguson and Hazelwood completing the top 10. Casey Kirk not quite being outdragged there by Peter Elkman as the German completes the points. Conor Rusikas just missing out, and that two-stop strategy really hindering a lot of the front runners there, with Van der Gaard all the way down in 14th and 11 seconds away from the next nearest car.
As it happens to be, the strategy department is still on the winter break for most of these guys. However, we've seen some phenomenal racing out here today, and the second round will be sure to be even more exciting.
That is most certainly the case, Jagup, as we will be heading to the Seven Hills circuit for the Welsh MiniPrix. Stay tuned for the second round. Hello everybody, and we are back for the second round of the 2004 Ligier Championship here at the Seven Hills circuit. Yeah, what do you expect to see from this racetrack? A lot of hills and a lot of seven.
I assume the seven and hills are in some way connected, at least. My logic puts it together this way. This is a very well-known racing track that's certainly not fictional at all, and I think we'll see some incredible racing.
Well, this track is very much one of a kind. A lot of undulation changes, and if you pay attention to the bottom right corner, the track is in the shape of a 7.
Kimi Räikkönen confirmed.
No way, Kimi Räikkönen endorsing Ligier Championship.
That's one, the sponsorship collab I didn't expect when signing up to commentate this series. But we are seeing it, and it's getting the best coverage it could get.
Who knows, maybe we can have more teams in the future. Maybe a Räikkönen Racing involvement in the future. Who knows? But for right now, we're watching Conor Rusikas be the first guy out on circuit. Quickly followed by Franz Bernbach, and Jordi Gambin is now plunging his way down into the middle sector of this circuit.
composed as ever, the Hispanian, yes, the Spaniard. Look at him. You cannot tell his emotions behind the visor.
You certainly can't, as Conor Rusicus will be soon to start his first qualifying lap. No, I didn't realise for the longest time that this track was actually in the shape of a 7. I used to think that there was actually 7 hills on this track that you drove over, but it was not the case.
That was my first reaction as well, most certainly. But as it turns out, we've been lied to, and the 7 is indeed the shape of the circuit. What a brilliant piece of design.
Most certainly.
It's a rest from all the Tilkedromes. This is a 7 drone.
It is a 7 drone.
It's designed by Swedish engineer Seven Svensson. Most definitely.
Yep.
But here we are looking at the first quali lap of the, is it afternoon? I think it is, yes, 3:05 p.m. as Conor Rusicus blissfully glides his car around the turns. He's
I'm going to pause right now because Lucas Moritz is in the gravel. Lucas Moritz is in the gravel on his outlap, and I think that's going to stop any chance of him possibly competing in this qualifying session. Our last place start, it's almost certainly going to be. Oh, and there's another car. It's Jago Pesta. He's off as well. He's crashed into Lucas Moritz. Fortunately, he's able to carry on, but that's going to be a massive shame for the Scuderia Azzurro team. Conor Rusicus going a little bit wide there as they head up the hill once more. Franz Bernbach trying to get a little bit of slipstream off Conor Rusicus as they head towards the final sector of this circuit. As Lucas Moritz, has been recovered back to the pit, and I think he will not compete in this session. Quite a shame for the German, who struggled quite a lot last season in 2003. He was expected to be one of the championship threats of the season. However, when it came to it, he was well down the order. I think, if not outside the top 15 in the Drivers' Championship, which was a massive shame for him and Campos, who he was racing for at the time. Now he has moved to Scuderia Azzurro as he looks to now build on more of his career, of course.
Maurits famously down in 15th during the 2003 season for Campos. Only 2 standout performances, finishing second in Russia and third in the United States. That man must be the biggest fan of Cold War I know.
As Franz Bernbach beats Conor Rusicus to pole position by a second. Welcome in, by the way, Jose and Alex. Hope your days are going well.
Is that the super truck driver Alex Young?
It is not the super truck driver Alex Young, unfortunately.
I was about to apply for some KL sponsorship money to really hone in the quality of this series. Anyway, we are looking at Gambin coming around to complete his flying lap, which will go down as... Sorry, the car's taking a fair bit of time to reach the line. He goes third.
Quickly shuffled down to 5th as Guido van der Garde goes 2.5 seconds faster than anyone else. Quite surprising there from the Dutchman, who was on the front row for the first round. Justus Naturai and Jake Wilson also side by side across the line. Jake Wilson up to the front row of the grid, but he's still over 2 seconds away, or just under 2 seconds away from pole position. It's quite strange to see where van der Garde has found that time in that small little French box, but he has managed to find his way up with a 2-minute 2.0. Second place, 2-minute 4.0, as Casey Kirk goes 8th. He's over 4 seconds off his teammate. He'll be greatly disappointed with that if he can't find another lap before the end of the session. As
we
Gunnar
are
Hansen
rapidly approaching the last of this session, as these cars won't be able to go for another flying lap as the session has technically already commenced.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
most certainly the case for Paul de Resta. Only 12th at best for him is a very disappointing showing for him in that Flashpoint Grand Prix car. Kostov, his teammate, goes quicker. Esther goes faster as well. As I imagine on these second laps, maybe quite a number of drivers can still remain to be going faster, including Guido van der Garde. Frans Bernbach moves up to the front row, now delving into the 203s. Can anyone else match Guido van der Garde, or will it be Dutch domination from the MyLink Motorsport driver?
I tell you what, I've seen enough of Max Verstappen win. I don't need another Dutchman, and certainly nobody can match Vettel.
Who's Max
Maybe
Verstappen?
they can match Van der Garde. I don't know, actually. Max Verstappen, I can only assume Jos Verstappen's infant son, who obviously has no footing in this universe.
A failure to improve there from Guido van der Garde as Barton gets close, 1.1 seconds behind, but it's still nowhere near enough to take him to pole position as there's contact there down at turn
Something.
Turn 6.
Don't try to counter. A fair bit of hokey pokey between the lads, but they are forgetting this isn't racing, this is qualifying, and you need to be fast, and playing the bump scotch with each other won't help in this situation.
Gunnar Hansen very heavily frustrated after that first race. To see a race win slip away in the manner that it did is not a good way to start the season at all, but bouncing back is the best way of trying to make a statement in this sport, as Daniel Ferguson 202.8, 8 tenths away from pole position, but I don't think it's going to be enough to topple Guido van der Garde. Gunnar Hansen with that contact only able to get 7th place, which means it is Guido van der Garde on pole position by 8 tenths of a second ahead of Daniel Ferguson on the front row. Carlos Barton completes the top 3, with Frans Bernbach and Jake Wilson completing the top 5. Then comes Nathan Hazelwood, Gunnar Hansen, Jago Pesta, Jordi Gambin and Ayuso Snatchere completing the top 10. We saw a grid spread of 6 seconds in that session, which was quite surprising to see, especially Tina Curtis, who is often seen as a decent driver, of course, in this series. Race winner last time out, but we're now down to the racing for this season. There's only one more thing to do, and that's to go racing. When the lights go green, there is racing to be seen. Guido van der Garde with a decent enough start off the line, but not as good as Daniel Ferguson as they head towards turn 1. Will Ferguson be able
60
to...
in about 97 seconds there for the cars as they're barreling down the turn, down to turn 1 and now turn 2.
Very much the case. Guido van der Garde leads the way as they head through this tight, compact section of turns 1 and 2. And I think someone's actually not even got off the grid. I think someone is already out of this race. Not exactly sure who, but whoever it is, they are most certainly out of this race. Daniel Ferguson looking towards the outside as they plunge into the middle sector. It's Daniel Ferguson looking towards the outside of Guido van der Garde, surely not through this tight hairpin corner. Van der Garde all over the curbs there, nearly running into the side of Ferguson, apologies. As everyone seems to get away well through these first couple of corners. 19 cars left in this race, so someone is definitely out of the Grand Prix. The Mini-Prix, I should say. Van der Garde again towards the inside, defending from Ferguson as Carlos Barton dispatches of Frans Bernbach for 3rd place in the Maxi Toys racing car. As Paul de Resta falling down the order, I think there was a bit of contact there with him and Casey Kirk, so much so that he's now fallen down to 15th place. A horrible start to the race for championship leader Paul de Resta.
I tell you what, this is not the last we're going to see of Van der Garde and Ferguson today. These two will battle it out on their grandest and hilliest stage of them all, the Seven Hill Raceway in England, location not specified.
Wales.
Is it Wales?
Yes.
I'm going to have to use Google, which technically doesn't exist in this universe yet.
Yeah, you'll definitely find where it is.
It is fictional England is listed on Overtake GG, which technically doesn't, again, exist in this universe anymore. We're getting sidetracked, and not only are we getting sidetracked, Van der Harde is getting a bit sideways as Daniel Ferguson, not to be confused with the former Shithouse Duncan, actually current Shithouse Duncan, has taken the lead with the cars barreling into the turns. Look at the stability, it's non-existent. The flags are waving. Everybody is headed to the spectacle of JS8 racing and making it JS great.
Most certainly there, Jakob. As once again, Guido van der Garde looking for a way through on Daniel Ferguson side by side as they head through the second hairpin, as it was on lap 1. Oh, what the hell? Van der Garde forcing his way ahead of Ferguson, blocking any entrance out of the exit of the corner, and so much so keeping the place as Ferguson getting a little bit on the grass there, trying to squeeze through towards the outside of turn 6. Can he make the move, or will he pay the price? Side by side again, does not stop as Carlos Barton all over the curbs there, losing a little bit of time, and so much so losing position to Franz Bernbach. Jago Pesta and Paul de Resta side by side as the Briton tries to rescue any decent results from this race. Top 12 score points in this series, with 15 points going to the race winner.
Diego van der Harde looking to right the wrongs of the previous round, as we are vastly approaching 1/3 race distance here soon at the Seven Hills Raceway in England. Jaden.
It's the Welsh MiniPrix.
But it's listed as England.
Side by side again, as so often is the case here. Daniel Ferguson with the fastest lap of the race, no less. Never mind, Svetislav Kostov has quickly taken that honour in 8th place. He'll be looking to possibly take the championship lead after his teammates' extremities in this early part of the second round. Daniel Ferguson all over the curbs, onto 2 wheels there. Very ballsy stuff there from the Scot. So much so that Van der Garde is just about pulling ahead, but for how much longer again? We know how strong the slipstream is in these cars. And will Ferguson be able to look towards the inside? He will be able to look towards the inside. There's contact! Major contact behind! As Carlos Barton's done a 360. Somehow he has kept it going in a straight line. I don't know how on earth he's managed that, but fair play to Carlos Barton. All over the curbs, on 2 wheels, on 0 wheels at points, but he's managed to keep it pointing in the right direction, only losing a bit of time as Paul de Resta's off. Paul de Resta, the championship leader, is off, he's in the grass, and he's out of the race. This is unbelievable. Championship implications already playing a part in this early stage of the season, and Paul de Resta becomes the 2nd retirement of this MiniPrix.
Carlos Barton reminding me of the pinball maneuver I've often used in F1 Challenge. It works a lot better in those structurally very sound JS8s than it does work in the carbon fiber environments of F1. However, I must wonder who's going to win this race with Ferguson and Van der Harde battling it out. It's not the first time the Scots and the Dutch have gotten into a bit of hokey pokey in the scene of politics and international warfare.
As here comes Franz Bernbach now, trying to get a piece of the action. He's weaving down the main straight, looking for temperature in the tyres maybe, or trying to put Daniel Ferguson off. Either way, it's going to be 1, not 2, but 3 wide in towards turn 1. Surely this isn't going to work. On the curb goes Bernbach, contact between him and Ferguson. Either way, Van der Garde not interested in that until Ferguson also makes contact with Ferguson makes contact with Van der Garde. But Van der Garde still keeps his lead for now. Very, very surprised to keep them all pointing it in the right direction there. As Elbows out racing, is not going to stop them from pulling away from the rest of the field. A couple drivers into the pits already, including Jordi Gambin and Jago Pesta, rejoining in 16th and 17th respectively. Conor Rusicus also into the box on the end of lap 3, so maybe a two-stop strategy again. That would be very, very strange to see, as Daniel Ferguson wide. He's lost a lot of places there, including to Gunnar Hansen, who's come out of nowhere to take the lead of this race.
Yeah, he must be seething in that cockpit from the last round, and he will surely look to right the wrongs and wrong the rights. As we are now vastly approaching half distance, so we're pretty much exactly at it with 4.5 laps soon complete. Sorry, 3.5 laps soon complete. I cannot count. Oh, it's a two-wheel tango again.
It's most certainly for Kostov, as he tries to get past Carlos Barton. He does exactly that, moves himself up to 6th place. Carlos Barton will be just happy to see the checkered flag after his early skirmish with near retirement from this race.
Here we have Van der Harde and Hansen. Hansen who's reminding Van der Harde that it does take two to tango, with a pair going toe-to-toe for the race win at the moment, but it will all be settled after the pit stops. So let's wait and see what will happen to the grid after that.
I think Van der Gaard's coming into the pits. Wide. He is going into the pits, as is Daniel Ferguson, the two former race leaders, into the box to serve what I assume is their only stop in this race. That unleashes Bernbach to try and take the lead ahead of Gunnar Hansen. Can't quite find a way through, but will there be contact as Hansen all over the curbs on the inside of turn 2. Lucas Moritz there setting the fastest lap of the race, a 2-minute 2.6 from the German. Moves his way past Tina Curtis and up into 8th place for the time being. Meanwhile, Jordi Gambin and Jago Pesta, I think, have done enough to come out ahead of Carlos Barton. They have done exactly that. So those two move up to now 13th and 14th in this race. Gunnar Hansen up into the lead after Franz Bernbach still trying to challenge for that race lead. Hansen very wide, just like his teammates last lap. And so much so that Bernbach now takes the lead of this race. Nathan Hazelwood also getting involved, as is Svetislav Kostov.
They're all wanting a piece of the pie here, Jaden. And I'm telling you, we will not see the race be settled for in the this race will be settled in the closing laps, as we're headed down towards the start-finish straight soon. Obviously, more cars need to pit, so some more action will be on the pit straight to see whose pit crew will prove to be the strongest, and I think that might decide this race.
I think it most certainly is, as Nathan Hazelwood fending off Svetislav Kostov in those previous corners. Bernbach eager to get past Gunnar Hansen for the lead of this race, as there's a lot of slowdown there at the hairpin. Esther, Gambin and Barton all getting involved with one another. This isn't going to help them if they're on that two-stop strategy. They need clear air and fast laps to make this two-stop possibly work. Into the pits comes Gunnar Hansen, as well as several others. Bernbach, Hazelwood, Kostov, Natcherai, I believe they're all in actually. Wilson, Kirk, Moritz decides to stay out for another lap, so he's going 6 laps at least on this first stint, as is Tina Curtis.
And here we have the new leaders of this race. Not that it matters anything because they haven't pitted yet, but here we see an ETS2 level convoy pulling out of the pits with
as there's Hansen making overtakes in the pit lane. Very brave stuff, as they just walk through Franz Bernbach to make themselves back into the lead of this race. So it's as they were, the top 3. Van der Gaard, though, rejoining ahead of the lot of them. 1.6 seconds is the gap between Van der Gaard in 3rd and Gunnar Hansen in 4th. Goodbye, Flavio Briatore.
It's 2009 all over again, in a year which technically hasn't happened. However, we must wait for this race to settle down a bit after everybody has completed their stops, and we had the final running for the final few laps of this here superb mini.
Oh, and that's
gone
Esther
wide.
off. Esther off. And that's going to stop a lot of people actually getting good runs on him as they had to back off, so much so I don't think Esther's going to lose too much time to the gaggle of cars that is behind him, but he's going to lose out to Kostov. Yeah, I don't think it was the esports line. I'd say it's more, I don't know,
WRC line. Oh, that's two
most
wheels.
certainly. Oh, as Esther's spun round, two overzealous try. Oh, and he's crashed into his teammate as well. It's all falling apart for the Estonian as he falls further and further down the order. This has all gone to absolute mush for Jakub Esther, who was once looking at a possible points finish, can kiss those dreams goodbye and possibly just give up for this race at least. Lucas Moritz and Tina Curtis now into the pits for their, what I assume is their only stop in this race. I'd hope it would be, considering we are only 3 laps from the end of this race. Hansen closed that 1.6 second gap quite handsomely to Guido van der Garde, and now Hansen will look to put himself back into the race lead as he did earlier. Nathan Hazelwood also in this battle for the lead as there's big contact. Burnback's off. He's carried on. Somehow he's able to get that thing carried on. Maybe some suspension damage for the German, but very aggressive driving from Hazelwood there to move himself up to 3rd place as the two championship contenders, you'd have to assume they are, considering how much they've been at the front. Hansen and van der Garde battling it out still for the race lead.
Well, Burnback must be considering the legality of the move just pulled on him.
And Hansen's off again.
Goes wide.
Hazelwood up to P2.
Nathan Hazelwood is up to P2. The man they call Aaron. Aaron Hazelwood is now going to hound the 8 under harder for this race lead in the closing laps. We do not discount Hansen or Burnback quite yet. I think it's safe to say that Ferguson is rather out of it, although stranger things have happened here during any mini-pre during this or last season.
Most certainly the case, as Hazelwood starting to climb onto the back of Guido van der Garde. Just 1 second, now 9 tenths between the leading pair. Now down to 8 tenths. He's really picking up a nice slipstream as there's major congestion down at the hairpin. It's Moreno Soprapto, who's got a good handful of points, is in last place, and I don't think he'll be scoring any today. I thought Flavio Briatore was leaving, and then he's back again, so I don't know.
It's like modern F1, which again technically doesn't exist.
What do you mean? We're in the modern era of F1 right now. Nathan Hazelwood has taken the lead of the Welsh MiniPrix ahead of Guido van der Garde, and van der Garde's not going to be very happy about that one. Hazelwood coming out of absolutely nowhere in these past couple of laps. A very forceful move to get himself onto the podium, but now he leads the race with just 2 laps remaining. Problems down at turn 1. It's Tina Curtis who has spun round, needs to get the thing turned back, and I don't think she's going to be able to. I think Tina Curtis is going to be another retirement in this race, the 3rd one of this mini-pre. Tina Curtis out of the race.
Right there, Murray, as Nathan Hazelwood has now been overtaken, and Burnback is back for seconds. He wants a bit of the action. He wants to bump into the Briton. And he certainly might do so on 2 wheels. Yeah, that got all out of shape. Much more out of shape than my uncle. We have Adolf van der Harder desperately trying to hold on with a barrage of cars coming in from behind. And he certainly will have to try his hardest to win this race.
Most certainly the case, as Nathan Hazelwood looks towards the outside at the hairpin. Guido van der Garde a little bit on the curbs, not too much, as Gunnar Hansen makes that move up to 3rd place for the time being. Be able to stick it is another story. Maybe try and get in the slipstream of the 2 cars in front. Maybe be the case to try and take at least a stab at the top 2 in this race. Guido van der Garde, though, leading us currently with just over 1 lap to go. Nathan Hazelwood trying all that he can to try and get the move done before the start-finish straight. He should be able to pick up a nice enough slipstream to take the lead as they head towards turn 1, but will he be able to keep it is another story. We've seen in Oran Park especially the amount of lead changes that we had in that final lap of the race. Here comes Nathan Hazelwood now powering his way across the line side by side. If that was the final lap, that would have been a photo finish, but Hazelwood now leads, and Hansen really starting to get involved over the curbs at turn 1 as they head towards turn 2. Who's going to be there to try and take the place? Contact there between Van der Gaard and Hazelwood. Here comes Bernbach with a brilliant run out of turn 2. He's up from 4th, he's up to 3rd, he's up to 2nd. Is he going to challenge for the race lead? Only time will tell as he tries to look towards the inside of Nathan Hazelwood, towards the downhill right-hander, side by side nearly, with Van der Gaard, Bernbach and Hazelwood. Can any one of these get victory today, or will all three of them crash out? There's contact there with Bernbach and Hazelwood. They're still side by side, 3 wide. 3 into 1 does not go into this corner. All over the curbs is the streamline driver. He's nearly spun round Hazelwood. I don't know how they've managed to all keep it in a straight line, but they have. As Ferguson's off as well, losing a couple places there, and more points dropped there for Harrison Motorsport. Will Hazelwood be able to make the move into the final couple of corners?
Surprisingly, Halo van der Harder not really going defensive there. I tell you what, he's probably enjoyed the battling of his final few sectors, because that's allowed him to keep his lead. But Nathan Hazelwood has emerged from St. battling as prime contender to take the lead from Halo van der Harder, and Halo will have to push extra hard coming into the final sector of the last lap. Can Hazelwood, they keep it on all 4 wheels?
I don't know if they're going to be able to. I imagine that they're going to be elbows out more than ever to try and take this race lead and the race win, but Hazelwood's bottled it onto the grass, and that's going to gift Van der Gaard the win of the Welsh MiniPrix, exiting the final corner for the final time, and with a gap of 1.7 seconds that should not be overcome by any of the other drivers. Guido van der Gaard wins the Welsh MiniPrix here at the Seven Hills circuit. Hazelwood will be disappointed, but a first podium of the season sees him in 2nd, Hansen in 3rd, and Bernbach and Kostov completing the top 5. Ferguson, Wilson and Moritz completing the top 8. Casey Kirk, can he hold on to 9th place in this race, or will Chen Kongfu get him over the line? The Chinese man most certainly will. Casey Kirk in 10th, Esther in 11th, and it is Jordi Gambin in 12th. What an exciting race that was.
I'm telling you, I don't have a single strand of voice left in my body after such an exciting ordeal. Those 20 minutes are certainly some of the greatest racing available in the world.
As that comes to a close, our opening 2 rounds of the EPIC Championship. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the stream as well, as we'll be fetching you. The next stream will be the Australian Grand Prix, the Formula 1 Australian Grand Prix of 2004 on Sunday. That's going to be all from me in today's stream, and goodbye.
Goodbye.